So today we're going to do something a little different. Considering that Halloween the game is a little under a year away, I made a community post saying that I'm going to be leaning a little away from Dead by Daylight over the next couple of months and leaning a lot more into my love of Halloween to prepare for Halloween the game. And the best way to kick it off, in my opinion, is to rank the entire franchise from the best all the way to the worst. I'm going to try to be as objective as I possibly can in this video because I know I have some wacky ass fucking opinions, like for example my favorite movie in the franchise is Halloween Kills.
When I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you.
But I'm not going to be delusional enough and put Halloween Kills in the S tier, so don't worry, I'm going to try to be as objective as I possibly can. But for the tiers, we have the first one being Pure Evil. The next one is Gortastic. The third one is Bloody Good. The second to last one is Dick-a-Lickin'. And our final tier will be Trash. For our first movie, we have Halloween 1978, and it's a no-brainer, dude. It is Pure Evil. Objectively, this is the best movie in the entire franchise, hands down. Nobody can ever debate. You ask anybody what's the best movie in the Halloween franchise, they're obviously going to say the first one. It has some great characters, it has some great music, great lighting, great cinematography, great pacing. Like, everything about this movie is just perfect, man. Directed by John Carpenter as well and Deborah Hill. And this is the movie that kicked off the slasher franchise. Now, it wasn't the first slasher movie, that's obviously not the case. We had Black Christmas, we had Texas Chainsaw, even though it really wasn't a slasher movie to begin with. I guess Peeping Tom, I've never really seen it. We had Psycho as well. But Halloween is the one that solidified the slasher genre as a staple of the horror genre. So we have a lot to thank for this movie, and it has our boy Dr. fucking Loomis, man. You guys know me, I love Dr. Loomis. Favorite character in pretty much all of fiction. Now that I think about it, pretty much all of fiction is my favorite character. Has some great lines in this movie, like the infamous black eyes.
The blackest eyes, the death size.
We have Laurie as well, which I'm not a big fan of Laurie. If you've seen my lore build series, I prefer characters like Jamie or Rachel or whatever. I mean, even Allison. I love Allison much more than I do the original Laurie. But yeah, overall, Halloween 1978 is the best movie in the entire franchise. And next up, we have Halloween 2 from 1981. Now, the first thing I think about when I think of this movie, I think of the kills. The kills in this movie are fucking phenomenal, man. They're some of the best in the entire franchise and has one of my favorite kills in the franchise, or my favorite kill in the franchise, the Nurse Franco kill, where Michael pops up behind her, stabs her in the back with a scalpel, and then effortlessly just lifts her up into the air above his shoulder. Just fucking badass, dude, and shows how strong Michael is. Like, we've seen the bits and pieces of how strong Michael is, like punching through a door or lifting Bob on the cupboard, showing this is just straight up not a man, the incarnation of evil itself. Or at least it was until they introduced the whole plot point where Michael and Laurie are sister and brother for some reason. I know it's because John Carpenter had a little bit of writer's block. Other good things about this movie is obviously Dr. Loomis. This is probably my favorite version, second or first favorite Dr. Loomis in the entire franchise, behind Halloween 4 or in front of Halloween 4. I can't really decide. You know, it also has some good lines. I do think he gets a little too dialogue-y in this movie. He goes on his monologues a little too often. Something that kind of tears this movie down a little bit is the pacing. There are a lot of scenes in this film that kind of just drag it on a little bit. There's a lot of not needed moments. Like, for example, with Laurie coming to the hospital, we see the stretcher go all the way from the entrance of the hospital all the way into the emergency room. And then we have the moment where Laurie is afraid to go to sleep, as if she's in like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie or something like that. Then we have other scenes like the security guard walking through the hospital and not really leading it to anything whatsoever. It just, overall, there's just so many pointless and empty scenes in this film, and it just drags it so much. But with that being said, I do think this is still a very good movie. It does feel like a continuation of the original film. I really like how they the transition from Michael falling off the balcony, and then we see his first-person point of view, and then we see Loomis in the street, and he says, "I shot him 6 times! I shot him in the heart!" So yeah, I'm gonna be putting Halloween 2 in Bloody Good. Next up, we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and this is a movie that I actually never did for my lore build series, or at least not yet, which is kind of a crime because this is a great movie. It's such a fucking good movie. I just thought it was a little pointless because there's no Michael Myers in it. I'd basically be playing Perkless Myers for my series, but it's probably one of the best movies in the entire franchise, and also one of the best Halloween-centric movies of all time. Like, just like in horror in general. It's got great lighting, it's got great characters, it's got great pacing, it's got a great plot as well. The plot for this movie is fucking terrifying, dude. There's this evil ass warlock dude who's like 1,000 years old. He runs this mask factory, this toy factory, and he manufactures these masks. But in these masks are these little chips that are created with little pieces of Stonehenge. And whenever you initiate this flashing light on this commercial, it turns the person or the person's head who's wearing the mask into bugs and mush and all that shit. That is horrifying, dude. Basically planning to sacrifice every child in America all at once. Oh my god, dude. Such a good plot. So I do highly recommend anybody who is interested in this movie to watch this movie. Because if you don't have this in your horror brain portfolio thing or whatever, you're missing out. It's a fucking good movie, and it's going to be in the gore-tastic tier. Alright, next up we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Yes, they brought back Michael Myers for this movie. Thankfully. Not saying that the last movie was bad, I just prefer Michael Myers a little bit more. And honestly, this is one of my favorite movies in the entire franchise. I love the entire aesthetic. This is kind of the beginning of the aesthetic that we're going to have for these movies for the next 3 of them. I don't know what it is about it. It just feels very comfy. I don't know. It's one of the comfiest points in the entire franchise, even though some of the movies, nope, just one of them, and it are just fucking awful. But everything is good about this movie. The characters are great. The music is also pretty damn good. We have Dr. Loomis once again in his glory, one of my favorite Dr. Loomises in the franchise. And one of the best moments from Dr. Loomis in general, with him at the diner, at the little, mechanic shop, and he sees Michael. He's begging Michael to please spare Haddonfield and take him instead. Sacrificing himself for the good of everybody else, which is such an underlooked part of Dr. Loomis, and I don't know why people don't point this out more often, but just sacrificing himself for everybody else at his expense. Fucking awesome, man. I love Dr. Loomis. We see it later on in the franchise and earlier in the franchise, like for example in Halloween 2, where he blows himself up to take out Michael Myers, and also devising plans, at people's expense, but also to stop Michael Myers once and for all. Like, he does so much for this fucking town, but they just fucking shit on him every single freaking minute, man. I mean, we get a perfect example right after the scene where he's trying to hitchhike, and he gets these kids who are riding in this convertible, and he's asking for a ride, and they say, yeah, hop on. And then as soon as he gets close to the car, they just drive off and dust in his face, and it's just fuck those kids, man. You know how much this fucker has done for you? I apologize for all my cursing, but I just love Loomis so much. Yeah, also, another good part of this movie is Michael as well. I don't know what it is about it, but I've always preferred the Terminator version of Michael compared to what we got before. Like, sure, he was a little Terminator-y, especially in Halloween 2, but in this one, he's just full on, I'll be back, and then just laying into everybody. Like, we see him taking a guy, holding him by his belt straps, yeeting him several yards away into like this electrical thing. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called a transformer. No, I don't think that's it. He's just an Olympic athlete in this movie. Also, a good kill from him is when he takes a shotgun, impales a girl with it, and then pins her onto a wall. Fucking brutal, man. I love this version of Michael. We also have some good protagonists, being Rachel and Jamie, some of my favorite characters in the entire franchise. Rachel Carruthers being a very resourceful final girl, very badass as well, running over Michael with a fucking truck, dude. Awesome, man. We also have Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd, and in my opinion, she is one of the best child actresses of all time. Hands fucking down, man. Like, I was looking at a top 100 child actresses of all, or child actors in general of all time, and there was no Danielle Harris whatsoever. She did such a good job in this movie, and then in the next movie, it's such a shame that she's not more recognized. I mean, horror fans recognize her all the time, especially at fucking Comic-Cons, but just the general populace have no idea who Danielle fucking Harris is. It's just such a shame. I like the opening as well, like the opening credits with the shots of the cornfield and all the pumpkins and stuff like that. Such a good movie. In my opinion, one of the most underrated movies in the entire franchise. Up there with Halloween 1978 in pure evil. Next up, we have Halloween 5, and fuck this movie, man. I hate this movie so goddamn much. I don't know how this movie can actually have a fan base. There are so many people who love this movie. It is ridiculous. Maybe it's just the nostalgia of it, but this is one of the worst movies in the entire franchise, hands down. It is garbage, trash, should not even freaking exist. And the director for this film just ruined everything, man. I mean, he basically just came into this franchise 5 movies in and said, oh, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna change absolutely everything. Rachel, forget about it, I'm gonna put Tina as the main role. Jamie, let's not even use Danielle Harris at all. Let's just make her mute for the entire movie. Dr. Loomis, forget about him, make him a fucking prick. Michael, let's turn him into a bitch. Bro, what is this guy thinking when he was making this movie? How are you gonna come in, like I said before, 5 movies into the franchise and decide I'm gonna change everything? Ruining Michael, ruining Jamie, getting rid of Rachel, ruining Dr. Loomis. I mean, even the telepathic thing with Michael being connected to Jamie telepathically. What? Why, man? I mean, the kills in this movie aren't even that impressive either. I mean, the only good one was the Michael on Michael kill where Michael puts a rake into the guy's head. That is it, man. This movie is so awful, and I don't understand how anybody could even remotely like it. So it's obviously going to be in the trash tier where it belongs. Next up, we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And I don't really hate this movie as much as a lot of other people do. Do I think some parts of it are a little weird? Yes, obviously, like the whole Cult of Thorns shit, like that's so weird, so dumb, should not even be in the movie in general. But there are some things to like about it. They actually brought Dr. Loomis back to his former glory, a little older this time, so he's not as mobile as he used to be. Some good lines from Dr. Loomis in Halloween 6, like when he's talking to the mom character of this movie. This force that lives inside of him grew inside him, contaminating his soul. It was pure evil. I love that line so much. And even like Michael Myers is my business, the whole what my profile picture is based off of. Really good Loomis in this movie. Michael as well. I love Michael in this movie. It sucks that he's in Halloween 6, but he's such a fucking good Michael. A very scary Michael, a very brutal one at that. I mean, you had one scene where Michael is chasing down this nurse doctor in this red hallway, and they get to this part where Tommy closes the cage, and he uses the head of the doctor to slam open the cage, and not just open it, but just take it off its hinges and just fall straight on the ground. It's horrifying, dude. This Michael is so fucking brutal, and there were so many good kills in this movie as well. I mean, you had the opening kill, which is kind of an homage to the Bob kill, where he takes this nurse lady and he puts her head onto this spike and then steps back and looks at it like the Bob kill. And you also have Jamie's death, which sucks that she has to die, but it's not the same actress, so I don't feel that bad. But takes her, slams her on this farming equipment, then turns it on and grinds her guts. Ugh, it looks so painful. Yeah, I do like Halloween 6, but I do recognize the flaws of it, so I'm going to be putting it in Dick-a-lickin'. Next up, we have Halloween H2O, one of the fan favorite movies in the franchise, and I don't fault anybody for that. This is a very fun movie. It's very rewatchable, it has great pacing, and also good plot in general. The only thing I don't like about this movie, though, is the Michael. In my opinion, this is the worst Michael performance of all time. And I think the main thing that really does that for me is that Michael feels a little too human, which has a lot to probably do with the mask. The mask of this movie is just god awful. One, there was a CGI mask somewhere in there, so that made it even worse. But the eye holes were just really big, the mask was really tight, so anything that Michael was like thinking, you could see it straight up on his face. Like every single emotion is just out there for you to see. With a character who's not supposed to have emotion, you're not supposed to see what's behind the mask. The eye holes are supposed to be dark and shit like that. I mean, just the body language as well, like with him popping out of bushes or him walking with his head tilted down like he's really angry or something. But everything else about this movie is pretty good, especially Laurie. This is the best Laurie that we've ever seen in the Halloween franchise. Hands down, you cannot convince me otherwise. Not Halloween 2018, not Halloween 1978, not Halloween Ends. It is the best version of Laurie ever. It feels the most realistic Laurie, the most badass Laurie as well, with her taking the act, walking out into the middle of Hillcrest and saying, Michael! Kind of giving me a little bit of a Dr. Loomis vibe, which is, gives me chills, man. And also the setting for this movie is a nice change of pace. We get away from Haddonfield for a little bit. We go all the way to California to this private school, which is a very interesting setting to have Michael in, and shows that Michael can work in any setting, but they just don't go away from Haddonfield, man. please have the next movie take place in like Idaho or something like that. But yeah, this movie is fucking great. Great pacing, great characters, great acting, everything except the fucking Michael. Fuck that Michael. So I'm gonna put it in gore-tastic behind Halloween 3. For our next one, we have Halloween Resurrection, and we kind of went from a high to a pretty deep low. The only saving grace for this movie, in my opinion, is probably Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is one of my favorite characters in the entire franchise. Not because he's a good character, it's just that he's just so fun to fucking watch, dude. Like, he has a lot of great lines, like, for example, one of my favorite lines in the franchise, "Trick or treat, motherfucker," which is very fitting because I've said the F-bomb like, what, 20 times in this video alone, so obviously that's going to be one of my favorite lines. And also, this Michael is pretty good. We actually go from a human version of Michael from H2O to a more traditional Michael, a more Halloween 2, Halloween 1978 Michael, which I really like. And also, they get the mask right. Well, not really. You can't see his eyes, but the mask looks a lot more angry this time around, which kind of sucks. But the rest of this movie is really unbearable at some points. The characters are just stereotypes. They're pretty much, okay, Rudy likes food. This guy in the leather jacket is a badass. This girl with a big ass forehead is very smart. The blonde chick is an aspiring actress who doesn't really have a lot of depth. She's just very squeaky. The final girl is horrible. She is the most uninteresting character in this movie, but she's the main character, which is very mind-boggling. Also, the plot of this film is, it's very dated, very of its time period, I would say. You know, the whole going into Michael's house, having these camcorders on their head, doing this found footage angle that the Blair Witch Project try to popularize. It just holds this movie down so much, despite all the other flaws. And overall, I really don't like this movie. I wouldn't say that it's completely trash, but I have to put it in the trash tier. Like, there's no other place to put it, man. And finally, we get to one of my favorite movies in the franchise, and that is Rob Zombie's Halloween. And a big reason for that is probably because it was one of my first movies in the series, so that probably has a lot to do with it. This is the movie that got me into the Halloween franchise in general, so I have a lot to thank for it. But regardless of this, I still enjoy this movie to this day. It is a very fun watch every single time around, especially the opening. Even though I understand the flaws, like having an origin for Michael in general, it's kind of a big down. And also, the second half of this film is pretty much just a shot-for-shot remake of the original, so yeah. There are some flaws, but I still enjoy it. It's such a fucking good watch. I love watching the opening every single time around, mainly just because I find it very relatable, which is very weird to say, I know, but a lot of the same things that Michael went through when he was a kid are a lot of the same things that I went through when I was a kid. So that's probably the part that got me really hooked to this film when I first watched it, is just the relatability of it. Even, like I said, it's so weird to say out loud, minus the whole, psychopathic tendencies. And also seeing 10-year-old Michael take out 4 people with such brutality, really, really cool to see. And also, I love the older version of this Michael. The brutality is even more emphasized in the later half of this film, especially with the Joe Grizzly scene. Probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, with Joe Grizzly stepping up to Michael saying, "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch." And then him threatening Michael with a knife, Michael taking the hand that the knife is in and slamming it onto the stall door, just completely demolishing it, which, keep in mind, was actually done in real life. Like, they actually destroyed some fucking poor bathroom stall door just cause they can do it. So that's pretty damn cool. I also really like the girl trio of this film. I find them much more relatable and a lot better than the original girl trio, which I know is kind of a sin to say, but it's my opinion though. One thing I don't like about this film is the Dr. Loomis, because it's basically just a copy and paste version of Loomis from the original movie with nothing else added to it in the remake. He's just not that great. Malcolm McDowell did a great job. No discredit to him whatsoever. But Rob Zombie just didn't know how to write Dr. Loomis for some reason. He just said, okay, I'm gonna take all the lines from Halloween 1978 and just tell Malcolm McDowell to just say them. That's it. Also, Malcolm McDowell has never seen Halloween, or had never seen Halloween 1978, so he had no reference at all. Yeah, I hate this Loomis so much. He gets even worse somehow in the next movie, which, oh my god. But yeah, even though I would love to put Rob Zombie's Halloween in Gore-tastic, I will be putting it behind Halloween 2 in Bloody Good. Next up, we have, unfortunately, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and Everything about this movie is horrible, man. Not the opening, though. The opening for this film is so good, but everything else is just so bad. Like, everything, every character, every scene is just so hard to watch. Laurie is unbearable. Dr. Loomis is unbearable. Michael, it doesn't even exist in this movie. Everything sucks. Oh my god, I'm actually crying IRL. Oh shit. Now, the one thing that this movie does have, that it is a decent movie overall. It's not unwatchable entirely, but if you're looking at this from a Halloween fan perspective, like a die-hard Halloween fan, you're going to freaking hate it. But if you're just a casual fan who's just coming in and saying, hey, it's Michael Myers, then you might enjoy it just a little bit, but think it's still bad nonetheless. So it at least has that going for it. But overall, oh my god, I cannot stand this movie. And honestly, it just felt like a big fuck you to Halloween fans, which I feel like that's exactly what Rob Zombie was going for. It's like everybody who hated Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007, he just said, all right, fuck you, I'm gonna make this unbearable for Halloween fans and just make my own movie. I respect it, but fuck you too, Rob Zombie. But I don't think it's as bad as Halloween 5, especially how... I mean, considering that it is a remake, so they're not really ruining Donald Pleasance's Dr. Loomis or Jamie Lloyd or the OG Michael, I might as well put it above Halloween 5. So yeah, stepping up to the plate, we got Halloween 2018, and bro, it's an obvious no-brainer. It's obviously going in the S tier. This is one of the best new age Halloween movies that we have gotten thus far in the franchise. It is so fucking good. I don't think it's as good as Halloween 4. There might be a lot of nostalgia keeping Halloween 4 above Halloween 2018, but everything about this movie is just so damn good. We don't get Donald Pleasance this time around, which is unfortunate, but we do get a voice acting, which is pretty damn good, with the whole voice recorder saying, it needs to die. It needs to die. Pretty damn good Loomis impression. I wonder if they got it for Halloween the game, or if they're going to get it for Halloween the game. That's very interesting to think about. But yeah, Michael is good in this movie. It actually feels like the OG Michael from Halloween 1978, with a little bit of other Michaels here and there, like Halloween 4, Halloween 6, Rob Zombie's Halloween, like just an amalgamation of every good aspect of every good Michael from the past, all just in one singular Michael. James Jude Courtney is my favorite Michael of all time, man. Laurie is also pretty damn good in this movie as well. They didn't ruin her character like they did in Resurrection. Would I say that? Yeah, they kind of ruined her character in Resurrection, but in Halloween 2018, she's back to her former glory. But the one thing I don't like about this version of Laurie is the unrealistic kind of motivations she has. She wasted 40 years of her life basically just preparing for the return of Michael Myers, something that probably would have never happened. It was very unlikely to happen, I would say. And yet she wasted all the best years of her life preparing for an event that probably would have never happened, and ruining every single relationship she's ever had with her husbands, with her daughter, with her granddaughter, with her son-in-law. He's a bit of a dipshit, so I don't give her much fault in that. Also, Allison. I love Allison in this movie. She is probably one of my favorite final girls of the new age of horror. You know, with the whole Terrifiers, the new Scream movies and shit like that. I love Allison so much. She becomes even more of a badass in Halloween Kills, which I can't wait to talk about her. But yeah, Halloween 2018, obviously pure evil. Next up, we have Halloween Kills, and I'm not going to do that. I said before, I'm not going to put it in the S tier, but I so very much want to. But yeah, Halloween Kills is a fun movie. It does have its flaws, like, for example, pretty much every hospital scene, almost every hospital scene in this movie is just so unbearable to watch. Everything to do with Haddonfield and the whole mob mentality shit is just so poorly written, in my opinion. But everything to do with Michael is perfection, man. James Jude Courtney, once again, being the GOAT of Michael Myers, being very brutal, very vicious with how he's going about his killings. Like, you can actually feel that this Michael is a little pissed off of what happened to him in Halloween 2018 with him being locked into the basement and nearly burnt alive. So obviously this guy's gonna go Super Saiyan on everybody. You know, first he takes out an entire squad of firefighters effortlessly. They do not even stand one single chance against this Michael. Then moves from house to house, going all the way back to his home, and then eventually he meets up with a mob of Haddonfield residents, and he, plays possum for a little bit, then jumps up and then takes out all of them with ease. Such a good version of Michael. Allison also this time around is so freaking good, man. She is such a fucking badass. Like, I see a little 2018 Laurie Strode in this girl, holding a shotgun, going from room to room, searching for Michael, her eventually finding Michael. He does block the shotgun, but then she shanks the ever-living shit out of him. God damn, dude. And even when she gets thrown down the stairs, not breaks her leg, but like dislocates her knee and is not able to walk whatsoever, she's still ready to go down with Michael Myers. Like, I love this Allison so fucking much. And also this time around, they give Karen a little character arc. She's actually a likable character this time around, instead of in Halloween 2018 where she was just a nagging, I'm gonna say it, little bitch. This time around, she's actually pretty badass. She actually comes and saves Allison and lures him away to the Haddonfield residence, which, the trap didn't work, but at least, the A for effort, Yeah, she gets her character arc. I actually like her character by the time she dies, so that's something. But the biggest sin of this movie is restraining Jamie Lee Curtis to a hospital bed once again. Every single movie that has Laurie in a hospital bed in some manner, it's just a big old piece of shit. I don't know what it is. It's always just happened. Halloween 2, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween Kills, ends up being a big piece of shit, or any scene with her ends up being a big piece of shit. Everything about this movie is really good, except for, like I said, restraining Jamie Lee Curtis, and also the hospital scenes. Everything to do with the hospital in Haddonfield, so bad, but everything else, so good. Halloween Kills, I'm gonna put it in just above Rob Zombie's Halloween in bloody good. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it above Halloween 2 as well. Do I? Actually, I'm trying to be objective, aren't I? You know what? I'll put Halloween Kills behind Halloween 2 because Halloween 2 has a lot better kills in its movie, but Halloween Kills is still pretty good. And finally, we have Halloween Ends, and I don't hate this movie as much as other people do. I do understand the flaws of it, like for example, setting both Michael and Laurie into the background of their own movie and making way for Corey Cunningham. Now, I don't hate Corey. Corey is great. He's a great character, very good, very well acted as well. But the fact that they set both Michael and Laurie into the background of their own movie in the finale of their own trilogy, kind of a bad move in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like that all that much. But overall, this movie is still a fun watch. I still enjoy watching the opening, or at least the first half of this movie, a lot. But once we get into Corey being the new Michael Myers and him taking over and stealing his mask and then going on his own killing spree, it kind of loses me a little bit. I mean, Corey has some great kills, but that's supposed to be Michael, man. You kind of just fooled us. The promotion for this movie was the finale of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Watch Michael do all these cool kills. Watch Laurie kick his ass in this epic beatdown. But it didn't happen. I mean, it did happen, but it didn't happen like everybody expected it to, which fucking sucked, man. But it's pretty much the only sin that this movie committed. Everything else. Also, Allison was kind of ruined a little bit. Immediately falling in love with Corey and going on this whole love journey and shit like that. Kind of weird, kind of sudden as well, but it's whatever. Everything else about this movie, the cinematography, the music, I think this is probably the best music in the trilogy, if I'm being honest. It has some of the best music. Very slow, very methodical, but really, really fucking good. Also, Michael just sucks in this movie. I forgot to say that. But this film does have Laurie Strode, which is probably my second favorite Laurie, and probably the second best Laurie in the franchise, hands down. Very well acted by Jamie Lee Curtis. I like the fact that she's kind of gotten over Michael a little bit. She's trying to live her life a little bit, even though I don't think it makes so much sense. It doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. But I like seeing Laurie happy, so I'm happy. And I'm just gonna put it into Gortastic, because overall, objectively, it's a better movie than Halloween Kills, and it's not as good as 2018. But yeah, that is my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more like this, let me know in the comments down below. I'm probably gonna do it anyway, because I love Halloween, so yeah. Anyways, that is about it, and I'll see you next time.
God damn you.